Hey guys, this is Colin from Blackjack Apprenticeship. Happy New Year. And one of the fun things about New Year's is you get to both look back at the previous year and also look forward to the new year with all your hopes and dreams and expectations. And I was thinking about looking back at 2018, and one of the highlights for me was a 10-year anniversary party for Blackjack Apprenticeship. I was able to throw in Vegas and had a bunch of Blackjack Apprenticeship pros and members and a few special people there. And at the end of it, right before we did cake, I was able to share a speech, and I wanted to share that with you guys here, so that's going to be coming up. But first, I just want to let you know how thankful I am for the entire Blackjack Apprenticeship community, all of our members that support this business and provide the resources so that I can continue to invest in videos, training software, and all the resources and provide a place for community for card counters. I can't imagine a much better 2018 for Blackjack Apprenticeship, and I'm incredibly excited for 2019 and what it has in store. So Happy New Year to you, and here's my speech from the 2018 10-year Blackjack Apprenticeship party.
Thank you.
Awesome, so I want to share a few words with you guys. But to be honest, I get kind of nervous in front of groups of people, so I was wondering at first, David, do you mind backing me off real quick? That's okay.
This is just you just want to back up?
Yeah.
All right. Sir, can I have you step away from the table, please?
Okay.
Your action's too good for us. We're going to ask no more blackjack here.
Do you know how much I've lost?
Yes. This is just a business decision. We feel that you are welcome to play slots here at the glorious BJA Casino, but no more blackjack.
Can I play rated on slots?
Yes. You're welcome to.
Sounds great.
All right.
All right, thank you. Now I'm a lot less nervous. So Freakonomics Radio is one of my favorite podcasts, and they had an episode a little while back called "Why Is My Life So Hard?" And in it, they had a whole bunch of, they discussed a bunch of different human psychological phenomena, and I want to share them and see if you guys could tell me how it relates to card counters, all right? So the first one's called the spotlight effect, which says that we as humans tend to think people pay more attention to us than we really do. How does that relate to card counters?
When we're really not. We think we're getting heat.
Yeah, every time the phone rings, every time someone in a suit looks your way, you're sure that they're onto you, right? Yeah, okay. Second one's called the hot hand fallacy, which is believing that streaks exist. The example being having the hot hand at basketball. So it doesn't, for those who don't know, it doesn't really exist.
Oh, they do exist. That does exist in basketball. In basketball.
You should listen to Freakonomics Radio podcast, where economists dispel the hot hand fallacy.
When I'm hot, pass me the ball and get out the way.
All right, so how does that relate to card counters?
Yes.
It totally does.
How?
In all the ways.
In all the ways.
I'm winning money at this casino, so it means this casino's good. I should keep playing here.
Yeah, so some of you guys know this story, but there was a guy that played for the church team, and they moved on from the church team, and he played on his own bankroll, and he calls me one day. He says, Colin, I figured out a great way to avoid losing streaks. I go into the casino and I play till I've been winning a bit. Then, if I've been on a heater, I go out to my car and play on the Blackjack Apprenticeship iPhone app till I go through a losing streak. Then I go back into the casino. And I said, James, it doesn't work that way. And I've clearly failed you as a blackjack team manager. Okay, third one's called self-handicapping, which is a tendency to come up with mental games to explain why we fail. Then if you succeed, it's all the more glorious of a victory. Can anyone think of a way that that relates to card counting?
There's some floppies at the table, that's why I asked.
All right, so I think I actually picked this up from Joe from the Greeks, but when I'd really be losing, I would start rooting for the dealer to make a 21. You know, when you're just getting clobbered, I'd have a 16, or the dealer would have a 16, and I'd say 5. And if they make a 21, it's not that painful because I was rooting for it. If they bust, it's all the more glorious because they didn't make. Has anyone done that? Am I the only one? Yeah. Okay, so we've got two more. This one's called the hedonic treadmill, which says once you get something new, you acclimate. Once acclimated, you're no longer happy with what you have and you want something more. Can anyone?
That's every part of blackjack.
I get caught sweet and sweet and sweet, and then they caught me in a normal room, and I'm sad. But then I realized I got a free room. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Happened when I switched from high-low to high-up one to Zen, back to high.
Never good enough.
Back to Zen.
I need to learn 100 more deviations.
Yeah. So raise your hand if you've been playing blackjack or been an advantage player for more than a couple years. Okay, so think back to the first couple $1,000s you won and how exciting that was. Is it still the same?
I only won 10 grand. This is crap.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So we got one more. This is my favorite one. It's called the headwinds tailwinds bias. And this is the tendency to acknowledge the challenges we face, which are the headwinds, while ignoring the things that are working towards our advantage, which are the tailwinds. How does that relate to card counters?
The losses are always more painful than the wins are rewarding.
I've been losing for 9 months straight.
Yeah, I mean, so the example is supposed to be like running. If you're running into the wind, you're hyper aware of the resistance. If you turn around and start running with the wind to your back, at first it's like, oh, this is nice, but very quickly you're not as aware of it. So, okay, so we as card counters, we're hyper aware of all those headwinds, right? We got variance, back-offs, ploppies, tip hustling dealers, poor rules and deck penetration, taxes, right? Right? Raise your hand if you are aware of those. Yeah, right? We can relate to that. But how quick are we to acknowledge the tailwinds? Like the fact that a fatal flaw has existed in a casino game for over 50 years that casinos have still not fixed, and we can use it to our advantage. That's pretty awesome, right? Yeah. Or the fact that every person here in this room has the brains, the physical health, and the opportunity to beat this game to our advantage, right? That's pretty awesome, yeah? Yeah, okay. So I'm going somewhere with this. Aside from kind of poking some fun at ourselves and all that, there's kind of a point to this. So in 15 years of playing blackjack and running teams and running blackjack apprenticeship, it taught me one thing, and that's that every person in this room will at some point go from loving advantage play to loathing it, right? Right? If just for a week or forever. Right? So what happens? Like the hedonic treadmill kicks in, and the excitement of winning a few $1,000s isn't good enough. Need more. Need more. Yeah. And those headwinds start really feeling so painful, right? Yeah. Okay. So what do we do about this? We could, how do different people solve this problem? And I would say that one thing is you could say stop complaining and keep counting, right? But that's not going to last for very long, is it? No. So some people decide advantage play isn't a good fit. And I think that is a really good solution to analyze, is advantage play a good fit? I don't just mean like analyze it once in your life. I mean to, like Mark was talking about, analyze regularly, is it a good fit? Because there could be a season where it's a great fit, and another season where it's a terrible fit, and then it could be a good fit again. Or you might decide, this just isn't a good fit for me, and that's great, right? That's an opportunity. It also helps to have realistic expectations. So Mark talked a little bit about this. I was thinking about, well, what can blackjack do for you? It can make you money, right? It can provide forms of freedom, either financial freedom or free up your time. It can teach you some really valuable lessons, right? And it can give you some really fun stories and experiences. But it can't really do anything else more than that. And so it's really helpful if you get into card counting, you think, this is it. This is going to do everything I've ever wanted. It's going to let you down, right? Probably sooner than later if those are your expectations. So, where was I? Yeah, another solution to the hedonic treadmill and the headwinds is to be grounded in something outside of money and blackjack and casinos. So, for me, that's been really important. For me, it's my faith, and my faith is the most important thing to me, but I can hear a Nuge, my old teammate, saying, Colin, stop Bible thumping. So you can talk to me about my faith anytime. Also my family, so my amazing, beautiful, wonderful wife, Grace, and our 6 crazy, awesome kids. I was thinking about, like, how do I put it? And I was thinking, I would just be a much more selfish person if it weren't for them. And then the third thing is my friends and my community, right? Really important to keep me grounded. But there's one last suggestion I'll make, and that's to take time to be grateful. So studies have shown that gratitude increases people's health and their happiness. And the irony is it doesn't even matter what you're grateful for. Studies show if you just choose something to be grateful for, you actually end up happier and healthier, which is pretty crazy. And I think it's really important to actually acknowledge the headwinds. We don't want to like ignore reality that those things suck, right? Variants and the backups and the dealers and the floppies and everything. But we also I'd encourage you and myself, and this is in casinos and out of casinos. This is as advanced players and just as human beings, to take the time to acknowledge the tailwinds as well. Like make time to be grateful for those things that we have to our advantage. So with that being said, I just want to take one more minute, then we can get back to the party, to thank a few people that I want to thank. They've been a big part of my life.